Hi everyone, this is Alan Rosinski, Metro Manhattan Office Space. Tonight I'm going to talk about a common situation which occurs in commercial real estate and really has an effect on businesses and tenants. That is lease renewals. Now sometimes tenants will remain in a space for 15 years, 20 years, every 5 years, every 7 years. They have to negotiate a lease renewal. You would be amazed. Frequently, they go about this totally the wrong way. So tonight, I'm going to discuss 4 common mistakes that tenants make on lease renewals. And I hope you remember these because certainly some of you will own businesses and lease commercial space. And if you remember this advice, it's going to save you money, aggravation, and effort. And it's going to make your real estate situation easier. So let's talk about the first mistake the tenants make when their lease renewal is approaching and it's time to speak with the landlord. You'd be surprised they do not take the time to actually inspect potential space, other space outside of their building, to view alternatives. They just are very happy where they are and they want to renew. Now, as a negotiating tactic, that's not a strong negotiating tactic, because if the landlord feels there's no risk of losing a tenant, what do you think they're going to do? They are not going to provide the most in the way of concessions. So if you find yourself in a situation where you have an upcoming lease renewal, please look at alternative space. And if you don't have a broker negotiating for you, mention to your landlord that you're looking at alternative space. That's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is tenants frequently wait until the last minute when they don't have time to move. Now, if a tenant is in an office, a medical, a showroom a space, the build-outs can be very elaborate. The build-outs themselves between architectural plans, permits, and construction can take 6 months, let alone finding the space and negotiating business terms and lease terms. So please, if you have an upcoming lease expiration, start looking a year in advance. It's better to start too early. Well, not even look. Contact your landlord and simultaneously look for alternative space, because you really want to ensure that you're getting a good deal and you want to give yourself the time to negotiate the very best value for your business. The third mistake that tenants make is they focus on the rental number, when in some situations, depending on market conditions and the city you're in, landlords may give you some free rent. They may do some work for your space. It really depends. But don't focus solely on that rental number. There's many business terms that can be negotiated, renegotiated on renewal. Another one, for instance, would be your annual escalation in addition to the base rent. That's an important one. The fourth mistake, and I see this, it's very common, is not retaining a real estate broker to represent you. Now, you may think this adds additional costs, and very frequently the landlord will pay the broker's commission. Now, look at it from a landlord's point of view. If a broker is approaching the landlord on your behalf, in their minds, it's going to seem likely or very possible that you'll leave the building. So what do you think is going to happen? They may be more forthcoming. So it can only work to your benefit. A broker is going to understand the market, going to understand the inventory, and know where deals are being made and what concessions landlords are making. So I would advise you to retain a broker for a renewal. In fact, most large companies are doing that. Lastly, what I would like to point out is that the landlord is not an adversary. They're a business partner. You're going to have a long-term relationship and a critical relationship with your landlord. So just keep in mind that they're business people. As you want to negotiate something favorable, so do they. But good landlords can be negotiated with. Everything's within reason, is open to discussion. So I hope this is going to help you in the event that you have an upcoming lease expiration. If this has been useful, interesting, I would ask you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a nice evening.